My daughter, Alice, she was born with a critical congenital heart defect called truncus arteriosus. This is a defect that requires surgery pretty soon after birth, as well as several additional surgeries throughout a patient's life. She was a tiny but mighty 4 pounds, 3 ounces. We had a dedicated team of amazing professionals, and they went through heroic lengths to try to get Alice healthy and home. Across 40 days of multiple surgeries, including a complex open heart surgery at just 19 days old, Alice fought with a bravery that far surpassed expectations for her size. Unfortunately, though, we got to the point where the conversation shifted from the medical providers doing things to Alice instead of for her, and that was how we knew at that point in time that Alice and her team had done all they could. On May 10th, 2022, Alice passed away. She'll be forever loved and always our little girl.
Daniel was born with a single ventricle defect. His mom, Evelyn, she was told Daniel would not make it out of the cardiac ICU. He initially was not offered any surgical option. Evelyn sought different opinions, and he was able to have an intervention. His care team was so awesome in being able to create a care plan that allowed for him to continue thriving, and eventually he was able to go home. Unfortunately, Daniel, like so many children, were left with infancy physiology, and he was able to live to be a toddler then, 5.5 with this physiology. And that's not uncommon for kids with congenital heart disease. Daniel ended up having the Norwood procedure, but his pulmonary hypertension worsened, and he would have a crisis and have to be transported quickly to the ICU. And I think that's when it became so apparent that we were at the end. It's terrifying to be told there is nothing left.
The 40 days we had with Alice were the 40th hardest days I've ever experienced as a parent or otherwise. And you have to think about how the outcome could have been different had there been research dedicated to her specific case. Given the prevalence of babies born with congenital heart defects, I was shocked that there wasn't more organizations dedicated to funding research for this.
1 in every 100 to 110 babies is born with congenital heart disease, which is about 40,000 births a year. Even if a child has heart surgery, a lot of these children are living with single ventricles, valve disease, heart rhythms, and they also develop issues with their lungs, their kidneys, their liver. My hope is that more research would allow for more prenatal diagnosis that allows for families to plan for the journey ahead accordingly, to offer more options, whether it be an invasive surgery, medical, or life options for children who may be in that position of being told that there's nothing left to do.
We hope that the doctors and nurses will take what they learned from Alice's case, hopefully have the next baby like Alice and family like ours have a happier outcome.
Daniel every day would sit in front of the TV and watch Moana on repeat, and I mean probably 5 or 6 times a day. And whenever Moana turned off, we knew because Daniel was hollering. Daniel would sing constantly, all day, every day. And Daniel had such an infectious laugh. You could be having the most difficult day and it would turn around just hearing him laugh. Daniel lived life to the fullest and taught us all that we should do the same.
Alice charmed everyone who met her with her golden blonde hair and her baby blue eyes that she'd opened just enough to convey love and a healthy amount of skepticism. She fought with a tenacity that impressed her doctors and nurses, the latter of which made sure that her bed was always colorful and that she always had a bow on her head. Alice was a really, really brave and strong little girl, and we miss her every day, but I still am just in awe of what she went through and the fight that she put up, and I'm really, really proud of her. As a parent, it's really easy to feel helpless when you're sitting there in the hospital and not able to do anything to help your child. And so that's why the best thing that my husband and I have been able to do is to fundraise for congenital heart defect research. Our great hope is that continued research, along with what providers are learning every day, can help babies like Alice and other children and adults living with congenital heart defects continue to see a better quality of life and improve survival rates. Had there been funding for her defects, maybe we would have had a different outcome. And that's why it's so important that doctors and researchers continue to receive this funding and be able to diagnose, treat, and prevent congenital heart defects.
Children like Daniel still are living so much of their life in the hospital. They're not able to get home. Their families are still living in fear when they're at home. There's always a chance to do better, an opportunity to do better, to give them more time, to give them more experiences, to give them part of their childhood back that congenital heart disease is taken away.
We need to continue funding the research to hopefully help no parent ever have to go through what we went through. And that is why I think it's so important that organizations like the Children's Heart Foundation exist.